Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Ready from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Dimmitt Chevrolet, and it is a hot summer day. You can hear the birds and the bees and the bugs making all sorts of sounds, but guess what? Sticking true to what I do here on Rady's Rides, we have another trim of an redesigned midsize SUV from Chevy. What the heck is it? It's this vehicle right here. This is a 2024 Chevrolet Traverse. This particular one is the LT trim, plus it's got the Midnight Edition package on it. But before we get into this blacked out, accented blacked out, three-row midsize SUV, let's talk about what's going on here. So like I said, we have brought you the LS, which is the base. We brought you the RS, which is the top dog. We even brought you the new Z71 off-road spec. And if you haven't seen those reviews, I'll leave the links at the end of this one. Now it's the last. This is it. This is the final trim to bring to all of you. This is the LS trim. But like I said, on top of that, it's got the Midnight Edition package, which brings a lot of special touches. Now, when it comes to midsize crossover SUVs, I don't even have enough fingers and toes to count on how many different types are out there. But one thing is for certain, if you want something new and redesigned, something with more modern technology and class-leading passenger and cargo volume, do you go with this new Traverse, or do you go, say, the route of the Nissan Pathfinder? Let's go ahead, let's dive into our Traverse LS trim and find out. Right off the bat, like I said, total redesign. We brought it to you already. This is the LS trim. So LT, LS. At the front of the business, you'll see with the Midnight Edition package, you are going to get a bunch of blacked out features. So you have a gloss black brow that comes across the center section, like the way they're doing the full LED lighting, turn signals, daytime running lamps, of course, projector beam, headlights, and then working our way down in this corner, you do have the gloss black trim. So like I said, midnight, think dark, think no lights on. That's what we have. You have a fake vent here, which I'm gonna have to zonk that. But the good news is you do have a functional corner vent on the lower portion, that corner air curtain to help clean up that air hitting the front of the new Traverse. Now, as we come across the redesigned grille, Midnight Edition package gets you a blacked out bow tie, the blacked out horizontal bars. You do get a forward-facing camera on the LT trim. And then working our way down, more functionality. And I like the way that they just went flat black on the lower grille area, which is very, very important because that's going to take a better beating over time than the gloss black. But it's got a nice balance. And I think with this particular white one, I like the color contrast. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section. Now, as we rise up, my favorite thing that Chevy is doing to their crossover SUVs is they're giving it almost like a Tahoe-esque hood. Your hood line is much higher now, which gives it a little bit more muscular stance to it. Clean body lines, nice little peak disappears, and then you have your deeper indentations on both corners. But like I said, all new for 2024. Now, when we come around the bend, yes, when you go LT, you're gonna get different wheels, upgraded wheels, but this one has upgraded plus some because we have that Midnight package. Gloss black wheel. I like the V-spoke design all the way around. 20-inch wheel, which is good to see. 255 on the width, 55 series sidewall. And then on the LT trim, you are getting flat black around the fender openings. I'm okay with that because of it being an LT trim. Go higher up, that's where we gotta seriously look at if there's any flat black around the fender openings. But compared to a Nissan Pathfinder, very similar wheel size. 20-inch wheels seem to be the name of the game when you're going higher up the option food chain. But let me know what you think about this special wheel, Midnight Edition wheel with our bright Arctic white Traverse. Now, coming down the side, you are going to get gloss black on the mirror caps, like the way they're doing the LED turn signals nicely in the mirrors. You have your 360-degree cameras, and then from the side, you can see the mid-size shape to it. Pathfinder, same story. Mid-size, 3-row crossover SUV. Up top, you do have flat black raised roof rails and just some gloss black along the top of the window frame trim, not the bottom. We do have color match on the door handles, and I like the way they blacked out all the badging, including the Traverse name prominently displayed on that front passenger door. Now, as we work our way towards our rear, love this design right here. They could have just put a rectangle window and called it a day, but instead of using a geometric traditional shape, they went very creative, brought the body color into it, and then as we swing it around back, it's almost a home run. It's almost, and I'll explain why. So we have a nice, long, sporty roof spoiler with your third brake light blended in. You do also have that body color shark fin antenna up top. This has got to go. No wiper exposed. Tuck it underneath. There's actually plenty of room there. Love the LED lighting though. They're really bringing it big time on the LED lighting. You got your LT badge all blacked out, your blacked out section up top, and the Traverse name gives it a cohesive design. Working our way down, I love the quad tip exhaust. Nice stainless steel tip, square design, definitely better looking than what you see on a Pathfinder. And then of course this cover comes off because you can tow with this Traverse. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood so that we can compare power plants between the Pathfinder and our Chevy Traverse. All right guys, we got the hood popped. You do have hood struts underneath the hood. The sad news is, I know for many of you, the V6 is gone. You could still get a V6 on a Pathfinder. So that's probably gonna be the bigger difference between the two, is that V6 on the Pathfinder, we now have a 2.5 liter turbocharged inline 4 in the Traverse. Now, the good news is more horsepower, more torque. 328 horsepower, 326 pound-feet of torque. The Pathfinder has about 290 horsepower. Just to give you a comparison, we do have an 8-speed automatic transmission. Pathfinder does have a 9-speed automatic transmission. 0 to 60 in 6.5 seconds. Top speed is governed to 130 miles per hour. MPGs, 20 in the city, 27 on the highway. The vehicle weighs 4,550 pounds and can tow up to 5,000 pounds. So, you know, if you want that more linear torque delivery, then the Pathfinder is probably going to be the way to go. Plus, the Pathfinder has a little bit more tow capability at around 6,000 pounds. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire up our 4-banger and hear what it sounds like. All right, guys, we are inside this 2024 Chevrolet Traverse, this being the LT trim with the Midnight Edition package. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I need a new mid-size 3-row SUV. I've been stuffing my family in a compact, and it's not fun anymore. It's just not fun being stuffed into a sardine can with a bunch of sardines. Very curious about this Traverse. How much is it? Well, very good question. The way that this one is spec'd out has an MSRP of $46,460. Let's see how it stacks up to the Pathfinder, to the door panels. Love the new touches. You got soft touch material up top. Then instead of gloss black, we have this gunmetal metallic gray finish. Same thing on the armrest, soft touch with the contrast stitching. A little bit of aluminum style trim, no gloss black around the switch gear. Door pocket is a good enough size, easily for 2 Whataburgers, a fry, and a milkshake. You got the Bose sound system. And then going from the door panel to the dash, same thing. Soft touch, the stitching, a little bit of aluminum style trim. I like the way they make it into like a hook. It's almost like Captain Hook design going around the AC vent. Like the gunmetal. Look at the way they put this texture into it. Nice little touches. Slide on in, there's nothing small about that. 17.7-inch infotainment system, full touchscreen capability. You got a real volume knob, Google Assistant. You could go into all your usual apps that you're familiar with. You can control your climate. Look at the color, the graphics. Love the way they do that. And then even cameras. This is where they really knock it out of the park at Chevrolet and General Motors, is the camera quality. I mean, overhead, side to side, front to back. Oh yeah, that's how we like it. And then we're right back to where we started. You do have 3 stages of heated seats, no ventilated seats on this trim. You got your dual climate control with the nice knobs on the bottom. If you like a nice knob. You do have your toggle switches for your AC controls, wireless charging, USB-C, USB-A, and a 12 volt. Down below, you got a place easily where you could put, I would say, 2 Entenmann bun cakes down here. My grandmother used to love Entenmann's bun cakes. Every time I would go over there, she would give me a slice of cake and some ginger ale. Because she always had ginger ale for some reason. I don't know if that's a grandma thing, but she always had ginger ale. And since growing up, we weren't allowed to drink soda during the week. We were only allowed to drink soda on Sundays for dinner. I would go for the ginger ale over the milk, even though it gave a funky taste to the cake. But anyways, 2 cup holders. You do have, of course, your blacked out key fob, midnight edition, remote start. I don't like this gloss black here. It doesn't make sense. Get rid of it. But I do like the soft touch and the stitching. Open this up. You could easily put your dentures case in here. So if you unfortunately did not take good care of your teeth and you have them in a dentures holder and then maybe they're bothering you while you're driving, you could take the dentures out and put them in the case. I actually have a weird story about that. Maybe I'll tell you soon. Soft touch material, the stitching. Open this up. Look at the size of this tray. This is a nice size tray. You could put, I would say, easily 6 Twinkies in there. That could be your Twinkie tray. And then you got enough room for a NFL size football as long as you deflate it a little bit. Sort of like what happened not too long ago during a Bucks game. We won't get into that. Seats, they are cloth, but I do like the material. Different color, different textures, manual adjustments for the passenger. I have full electric assist, and this particular one does not have a sunroof. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I got a steering wheel with Super Cruise I want to show you. Come on over. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have your electric assist controls for the driver's seat. I do like that lower lumbar. I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of room up front. Steering wheel, you got the leather, you got the plastic here. This is for the Super Cruise. This is where that LED lighting, the blue, the red, and the green are located. And remember, Super Cruise is hands-off driving, autonomous driving. Paddles on the back to go up and down the 8-speed automatic. You got your different mode selector switch nearby. And this does have a manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. Electric shifter for the 8-speed automatic. And there's our 11-inch digital gauge cluster. Love all the information I could scroll through. Look at that. Oh, looks good, feels good. Only thing it's missing is a head-up display in this trim. But the rest of it, especially the Super Cruise, that's pretty huge. But why don't we go ahead, let's get in the mid-row and the third row and see how much room you have for your passengers in this Traverse. All right, guys, backseat time, and this is where you got plenty of room. I mean, 3-row capacity. You can get a bench seat for the mid-row. This one has the captain's chairs. Same great material. It's just this armrest sucks. I'm just gonna call it what it is. It's too small, and I don't like the cloth on it. It's like sandpaper. So we'll just get that out of the way. Backs of the seats. I wish somebody would have told me that this headrest was all the way up because that really bothers me. I don't know why, but that's like my OCD. Bring it down. You do have a nice large pocket here. You could easily put, I would say, 16 blow pops in here. Used to love blow pops. The gum never lasted very long, but I don't know. It's like 2 candies in one. Got your 2 cup holders in the back. Nice digital readout on your rear climate control. USB-Cs. A 12 volt, not 12 volt, a home power source, and another place to put a dentures case. I gotta tell you the story now. I gotta tell the story. Sorry, Steven, I gotta tell the story. I remember my first time as a kid seeing dentures for the first time. Never saw him before. My grandmother came to visit from New York. We were living in Florida. I was about 7 years old. Went into the bathroom at night. I had to use the bathroom. I saw this little blue case. I picked it up and I shook it. I heard something inside it. I opened it up. There was my grandmother's teeth floating in some type of weird solution with little chunks and bits of food floating around. Kind of gross. But anyways, I do like the way the seats slide. It's got that sliding action all night long. And then they recline pretty good. Not bad. Watch this. Move this out of the way. You do have your third row. I like the way my knees are nice and low. USB-Cs, cup holders, same great material. It actually feels pretty decent back here. Not even close to the headliner, but let's get in the cargo area and see what we can stuff in this Traverse. All right, guys, time to get in the cargo area. You're gonna hit that button right underneath. Nice electric assist, even on the LT trim. I left the third row up to give you an idea of how much space you have. You have 23 cubic feet of space with that third row up. So if you have a large stroller, especially if you recently had twins, you could get one of those larger strollers back here, or if you're gonna play golf, you could get the golf bag back here, no problem, with all your balls intact. Now to put down the third row, easy peasy lemon squeezy. You're just gonna pull on the tether, folds down nice and flat, does the 60-40 split. What you now have is 53 cubic feet of space. You fold down that mid row, we're talking about over 90 cubic feet of space on a mid-size 3-row SUV. You'll notice on the back portion there, the USB-Cs that I was pointing out to you when I was sitting back here. So it's nice that even on an LT trim, you're getting tons of connectivity. Plus, look at what we have underneath. Tons of storage underneath. So you go to the beach, everybody's got their sandy gear, their flip-flops and all their crap. This is where you could put it and then you could easily clean it out. Plus, I like the fact that the lid stays open. So that's a nice touch as well. But why don't we go ahead, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go take this new Traverse, this LT trim, out on the road and see how it drives. All right, guys, we're leaving Dimmitt Chevrolet. We're in this 2024 Traverse LT with the Midnight Edition package. Right away, you're gonna like the new interior. You're going to like the new interior. That large 17.7-inch infotainment system is well within reach. A lot of it is in the touchscreen, but I'm so glad that they kept real switches and knobs for the dual climate AC control. The visibility out the front is fantastic. The back, even the side mirrors, good size. And with the cloth seats, I like the comfort with them. It feels really supportive without feeling too squishy, like you're sitting on a pillow pad or something. And then you got that 11-inch digital gauge cluster that not only is configurable, but also has a ton of information on it. Now, ours is front-wheel drive, but you can also get a all-wheel drive version of the Traverse. You got that flexibility of 3-row seating, and you saw the amount of passenger room that we had, especially in that third row. Very, very surprising, and that's why this is class leading. It definitely much more space in the Pathfinder, and the Pathfinder is actually quite generous as well. Wireless charging, the USB-C, the USB-A, all that great connectivity. And then of course you do have your different modes. Snow, ice, sport, normal. So that's nice that they give you a good variety of different modes to choose from. But we're gonna go ahead and go on throttle. On throttle! It's actually quite responsive when you're already going down the road. The 4-cylinder turbo does a good job spooling up pretty quickly. And then of course the 8-speed automatic transmission shifts smoothly, drop down very quickly, so that's good news as well. Let me come to a stop here and we'll see how it is off the line. I just have it in normal mode for this drive. On throttle, look at that. Wow, very, very respectable on not waiting for the boost lag to go by. There's not a ton of boost lag, which is important, especially for when you're towing or you're trying to do that quicker acceleration. But I love the fact that you have all the safety features, being able to make a U-turn. I mean, watch this. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. And for those who haven't been in a mid-sized 3-row SUV, these are things that are good to look at, is maneuverability. And you're gonna like how maneuverable this Traverse LT is. But the fact that this one's been optioned with the Super Cruise gives you that hands-off driving experience going down the road. And the wonderful thing about Super Cruise is that they've added a lot of backcountry roads as well, not just highways. But let's get out onto the highway, because I think that's another thing that's very impressive about this vehicle, is the fact that they reworked the sound deadening material, they reworked the chassis and the suspension to give a very nice, comfortable, but solid driving experience. There is that sound of a 4-cylinder turbo underneath the hood, but I'm glad that they didn't pipe in any extra sound of that garbage. And that's probably the one big deficit to the Pathfinder. Those who want that naturally aspirated V6, the Pathfinder has it, this does not. But with that being said, more torque, more horsepower. Can't argue with that. But just really, really smooth. Soaks up the bumps nicely, even with the 20-inch wheels. And you're getting a lot of standard features on these Traverses for 2024. Remember, check out my LS. The base trim is going to blow your mind. But of course, the RS and the Z71 are pretty darn fantastic as well. But just a really nice overall driving experience. I actually like it better than the previous generation Traverse, especially the interior. The interior blows the old one out of the water. But we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna get back to Dimmitt Chevrolet and wrap this one up. I hope that this has been a good, quick overall review of what the Traverse is bringing for 2024. We're gonna get back, wrap it up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, another great day here at Dimmitt Chevrolet. Definitely gotta thank Raheel and the rest of the team getting us access to this 2024 redesigned Chevrolet Traverse, this being the LT trim with the Midnight Edition package. But let me know what you think. Are you liking the changes that Chevy has brought to the Traverse for this new redesign, or are you gonna take your hard-earned money and go get a Nissan Pathfinder instead? Both midsize, both 3-row. Let me know in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. I'll come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Radies Rides family. Of course, we need to give it up. Stephen Flood, working that camera like a champ. Show him some love in the comment section. Thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.